no discussion of sovereignty would be complete with some mention of AI. Now, while the two don't have to go hand in hand, they might do. What way are you thinking about sovereignty in the context of AI, or conversely, AI in the context of sovereignty?
So I guess the way I think about it, right, is that we can take a lot of the discussion around sovereign cloud and apply it to the way in which we all adopt AI solutions. Because I think a lot of the same risks apply. But if we've talked about sovereign cloud in the sense of foreign government access, foreign government interference, and vendor lock-in, we can think about that same set of concerns as applying to the use of AI services. So foreign government access. Will OpenAI hand over every prompt that you put into ChatGPT to the US government under US law? That could be a concern. Foreign government interference, right? The more that European organizations come to rely on AI services as part of their business processes, the greater the risk of them being cut off from US services at the behest of the US government. And lastly, we can also have issues around vendor lock-in. The more a particular user uses a Gen AI solution, the more that solution becomes tailored to their particular needs. And similarly, at the organizational level, right, the more that an organization customizes a particular AI solution, for example, by uploading its own training data, the more they become locked into that particular solution, and the more difficult they would find it to move over to a different solution and achieve the same level of performance. So while I think we're seeing the same risks, I actually think there's an opportunity here because we're at a much earlier stage of adoption, right? So we don't have to adopt AI solutions the way we adopted cloud. We can think about these things from the start, right? And learn the lessons from sovereign cloud and apply them to our adoption of AI systems so that we build a high degree of customer control in from the start.
And I think that's spot on. That's absolutely verified by the anecdotal experience I have in dealing with clients on these topics, which is cloud has gone through multiple iterations in terms of how organizations have matured, how they're thinking about it. And the organizations that are doing well, in inverted commas, on AI are the ones that are actually transposing the learning that they have from cloud, the difficulties that they've experienced, some of the challenges that they've encountered along the way. And while the subject matter is different, the macro themes around risk management, around remaining in the driver's seat, around strategic autonomy, and around the business centricity, the questioning of, are we really sure about what we're doing with this technology and why? Are we willing to expose ourselves to a certain degree of vendor risk, supply chain risk, third-party risk, because the benefit outweighs the vulnerability that we might be incurring? It's just a level of maturity in terms of acknowledging what the trade-offs are and being willing to accept them because it makes sense in terms of driving forward a mission. And I think that's where we're getting to in the industry, and I think it's very encouraging, is that there's no perfection on these topics. They're complex, but they require a maturity of decision making and an acknowledgement of what cannot be changed, and just a very sensible leveraging of capabilities. We've talked about technical measures, operational measures, commercial contractual measures, all of that coming together, driving forward responsible, intentional use of technology with diligent stewardship, I think is probably the best term, in the service of a mission.
I think that's really well put.